Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host on this Tampa Bay Community Network special. We're in Ybor City celebrating Fiesta Day. A little bit about Fiesta Day for those of us who are not natives. I happen to be one, and I was born right here in Ybor City. Fiesta Day is a tribute to all the different melting pot cultures that we had here. In the 1800s, people of Cuban descent, Italian descent, Spanish descent, Jewish community. Everybody came to Ybor City and made Ybor City what it is today. And because of that, we have so much culture right here. Behind me on this side is the Ybor City Museum. It was actually the Frida Bakery before that. Across the street here is Centennial Park. That was actually where my grandmother's house sat. So I'm very much at home right here in Ybor City, the heart of Tampa. And it's my pleasure to be here with Tom. And Tom will be able to tell us a lot about what the Chamber has done down here, Tom. Actually, this is a Chamber event today. So
absolutely. This is the 62nd Fiesta Day that's been going on in Ybor City. As you mentioned, it started out as a celebration for the cigar workers, a day of rest. The Chamber is nearing its 80th birthday. We're now at 79 years and counting. And it still represents the entire barrio, just like it used to, in terms of developing the community, bringing in folks for events, and doing economic development like that.
Tom, what kind of a mix do you have? Do you have a lot of business members and residential members? Now we have some residences here.
Yeah,
so
I tell people that the Chamber is a little bit more like a convention and business bureaus. We have a lot of tourists that come here for both the daytime activities, the food, the culture, the cuisine, the history, and then at night we're more of a restaurant, movie, improv, clubbing type of district, and so we have a wide variety of things we do. And more recently, we've become a headquarters for creative industries like architecture, engineering, and movie production. In the last 2 years, we brought in two major movie production companies in the Bay Area. So that just adds to the flavor.
Oh, absolutely. And I remember when they first started coming into this area, I wasn't on county commission then, I was on city council still.
Yes.
And some people were a little bit apprehensive about what is a camera production going to do. It's a clean industry. Gives us a lot of good dollars in terms of economic development. So it's wonderful.
And it brings the young people back to Ybor.
Sure.
We're getting energized not by the bohemian artists now, but by commercial art. So we're encouraging advertising agencies to come and join the mix. Right over here is Roberts Communication, one of the best public relations firms in the Bay Area. So
absolutely.
It's nice, and we have Tampa Digital down in the Central Ybor complex.
And that's good because I think when Ybor City started changing profiles, everybody thought this just was a crazy area that just had nothing but bars. Daytime was nothing. Look at it. Daytime was nothing. It was just bars at night with a bunch of drunks going home. And
our biggest change in the last several months has been the starting of 3 new, really very nice restaurants. Teatro in the old Centro Español building, the Nest in the Las Novedades building, which is one of the oldest restaurants in the area.
Absolutely.
And they have a Mediterranean tapas restaurant that's fantastic. Teatro has a wide
How long has that been
fusion
in,
menu.
Tom?
It's actually only been open. In fact, their grand opening is tonight.
Oh, really?
And then we
what
have
is it called
Olivier.
again?
That's called the Nest. And it's
Very nice.
tapas and pasta.
Wow.
And really, a very nice menu, very nice menu. So that's a big success for us. We've had a very good season with Outback Bowl, Super Bowl, the night parade. We've been actually doing quite well because of our special events. And of course, today we have our family event, which is Fiesta Day behind us. So it's a nice deal.
I tell you
We're
what,
doing pretty well.
singling out Super Bowl, that was just incredible for everybody.
It was indeed.
It went off so smoothly. It was just unbelievable.
The whole community did a great job, and we actually had to close 7th Avenue for the first time in years during the middle of the day.
What a nice problem,
so many Steelers and Cardinals were celebrating at Green Iguana and Coyote Ugly. We closed the streets block by block during the day and into the night, and it was fantastic.
Tom, what other kind of events are good revenue engines for you, like Fiesta Day? What else?
Fiesta Day is good for the family. We have Guavaween, which is more of a carnival style for Halloween, which a lot of people don't know this, but it's one of the top Halloween events in the entire country. We're at the same level as Las Vegas and New Orleans and New York and Chicago in terms of having a first-class Halloween event. And then we have an event we're doing this spring called Ybor Aficionado Days, which is very upscale. Mostly inside. We do a tapas trail where people go and sample a dozen of the best restaurants, and then we go inside the Italian club for a little history, a typical Ybor smoker, And then after that, we have a Spanish brunch of the Columbia. It's very, very elegant. The Gonzmarts put together an incredible buffet of items for a lunch brunch, and we have jazz, and it's just a really nice event.
And you know, Tom, you've obviously adapted to being a person from Ybor City, but I am, no offense, but I am just so much more fortunate than you are, because I was born here. And I mean, the culture that was here, the mix. Italians didn't differentiate between Italians or Cubans or African Americans or anything. It was just such a wonderful blend of a place. We weren't real wealthy, nobody here was, but we probably had one of the richest upbringings that people could have any place, actually.
Well, one of the things I've noticed is it's the small things. We call them, you know, it's the cigar, the cafe con leche, the Cuban bread, the Cuban sandwich, all these little things that make life great, the small pleasures, as we call it.
Oh, Tom, this whole block, I remember there was a fire station at this corner, and when my grandfather and them would have, or my dad and them would bake the bread, 3 o'clock in the morning, they'd know when the time was. They'd come down and they'd have bread and pour some nice good olive oil over it. It was a community at any day, any time of the day or night, and it was safe.
See,
Your parents
that
didn't
was the Krispy Kreme of the day, right?
There was no Krispy Kreme. Kreme came in here now. We wouldn't want any of that kind of economic development. But that's what, I mean, I've always tagged it, even in some of my political stuff. From the heart of Tampa for all of Tampa. That's what Ybor City is.
And we still have that diversity today. It's just a fascinating thing.
You know, I missed the night parade for Gasparilla. How did that go off?
Night parade was very nice. The crowd built slowly, but then during the parade, it was incredible. I had the pleasure of watching it from Jack Shiver's balcony, which is about the best spot you can have.
I watched that before from
and
there.
It was great, really great. And
Absolutely.
then what happened was all the adults pretty much got off the floats and went into the restaurants and bars, and the street got quiet pretty quickly.
You know what's a good tribute to Ybor City? Lots of times people think Ybor City is where all the bad stuff is going to be, and the fights and stuff, and from reading the Times and the Trib, it seems that they had more arrests and more disturbances in the daytime parade.
Oh, absolutely.
And
there's more trouble at a typical Bucks event than there is at an Ybor event now. We're very fortunate as the crime is not an issue anymore for us, just the perception and the history of having some issues there. And we have very good street traffic now, so people are comfortable out on the street at night.
Yeah. Tom, I know that there are a few empty buildings, as there are any place now because
sure.
of the struggling economy, but what are you all looking at in terms of trying to lobby to mix the...
One of the things we're excited about is IKEA's coming just south of Adamo, and IKEA will generate thousands of people, and we'll get our small percent of that, even if it's 25%, to come to Ybor.
Yeah.
The average IKEA stay is about 2.5 hours, so that means you're going to have a lunch or a dinner, and we're going to be their spot to come. And I hope that it allows us to take some of those storefronts and turn it back into galleries and household decor, that type of thing. I think that's where our niche will be. And it'll be back to make sure people have.
And you know, and that's good and bad, because those of us who were born here, we think that we have to carry the tradition of the preservation in Ybor City out of the area, and that's where the problem is. You know what I mean?
Well,
because like some people say, well, IKEA, this is not in keeping with this, but it's on Adamo and it's on the other side. And I think we ought to be grateful that maybe it's not the same type of a decor as here, but that's what progress is. Anyway, Tom, we're running out of time, but I sure want to thank you for being with me.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you for doing the job you're doing, and,
thank you.
And we really appreciate it as natives from Ybor. Anyway, in the meantime, thank you again for being with us. Please stay tuned. I have another interesting guest, Lynn Schultz. We'll be talking about the Saturday market here in Ybor City on Centennial Park. Thank you. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
How you doing? I just want regular, no sugar today.
You got it.
Thanks. Hello.
Hi.
Did you eat that whole thing today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing?
She's getting big, huh?
Good. Yeah, she is big. Hey, haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks cute. Come on, let's go. Nice to see you. Thanks a lot.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. All calls are anonymous and confidential. Trust your instincts.
Thanks for joining us. We're here at Centennial Park, and with me is my friend Lynn Schultz, who heads up the market. So, Lynn, tell me a little bit about it.
We're in Centennial Park in the historic Ybor City. We're located on the corner of 8th Avenue and 19th Street. We're the entire square block in the park. The museum is a partner with us, and they're located directly behind us, as well as Tropicana Cafe on the other side. We are here every single Saturday, year-round, rain or shine. During the winter months, the cooler days, we're here from 9 to 3. Our summer months, we're here May to September from 9 to 1. It's a little hot for all us vendors to stay out in the sun,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we leave by 1 o'clock during the summer. Plus, it takes its toll on the produce.
So you've kind of timed the hours of operation around it.
Exactly, based
You know,
on the
Lynn,
attendees.
I obviously, as some of our viewers may or may not know, I am a native of Ybor City, so I've just always, because that's so important to me, followed what goes on in Ybor City. And from what I can remember, before you started taking this over, the market was struggling.
It was a challenge.
Yeah, and what did you do to turn it around? Because
Well,
it didn't work before.
The market inception was in the year 2000. We are a millennium business, and I took over in the year 2003. We'll be celebrating 9 years in April
Very good.
this year. Can't wait to our 10th year anniversary in 2010. I actually started out here as a vendor. It started out very strong, and then it kind of took a dive down and things slowed down. There wasn't enough resident base here yet in Ybor City.
Right.
Now we've had a lot more residents, a lot more condos come into the area. The streetcar, the Tico Line streetcar system now brings in the cruise ship passengers, as well as the special events that we host here at the Saturday market.
Right.
One of the very first big events that we hosted was Paws in Ybor. And we did a Bow Wow fashion show, and we did a dog print painting, and we did OG, My Pet Looks Like Me. It was awesome.
Well, as a matter of fact, I did attend some of that. I'm
It
a
was
huge,
fun.
huge dog fan.
It was
I've got
a
a couple of
blast.
rescues myself, so that was pleasant to see. Seems to me, if I'm correct, a long time ago, when there was another event, they weren't creative enough to be able to partner with you guys at the market, and that seemed like a lose-lose. You've turned that around, right?
Right. Now we have many great partners. We partner with Hillsborough County. We partner, of course, the City of Tampa is one of our best sponsors. Hillsborough County has partnered with us, the Hispanic Affairs Office, to create Flan Fest, which is the event that we're celebrating here today, all about family, heritage, culture. This is our 6-year anniversary, and friends, family, flan. That's what it's all about. And I actually brought you some
Yeah, we're
flan
going
today.
to talk about that in a little bit. Thank you.
We'll go to that.
We'll talk about that.
But also, in addition to the market, it's free parking, free admission. Bring your whole family. We are a family daytime venue. Totally fun. We have live entertainment every Saturday. You can even bring your dog every Saturday. It just doesn't have to be on Paws and Ybor
It
Day.
doesn't have to be any special weekend.
We have produce here that is incredible. The produce is hand selected, 150 different varieties. It's a business that's been there for 40 years. They're in Pinellas County, Kilpatrick Produce. They've been with us now for about 4 years, and
Nice.
you're guaranteed fresh.
And so that's about that's your biggest product then, right?
That's what draws most people, are the gourmet food items and the produce. But in addition to that, you can find great gifts, one-of-a-kind, unique gifts, jewelry, artists, there's photographers, we have dog treats, we have fresh squeezed lemonade. We even have bags that are made out of the recycled bags that you get at Walmart or Publix. People actually create purses out of those. So we have fresh baked breads, just about everything you can think of. The prices are great, the quality, there's nothing like
Fresh
it.
baked bread, but not as good as the bread that used to be baked back here, right?
Probably not.
You know about that history, right?
I'm not familiar with that. But
that's an Ybor City museum that the state owns.
Oh, wow.
But many years ago, in the late 1800s, my grandfather came over from Italy and started that bakery.
Oh, wow.
That was my grandfather's bakery.
Okay, I won't mention our fresh baked bread, although it's great.
No.
It doesn't compare, I'm sure.
Of course, we don't make bread anymore. But after he died, my father and my uncles continued it. The city took it over in maybe 1960 something, and after that, it's become an artifact for all the Ybor things. A lot of history, a lot of culture.
There's so much history.
Centennial Park, right here, not very far from where we're sitting, was my grandmother's home, and that's why I was always hoping that this would just rejuvenate.
And it has. It's grown from 15 vendors to 70.
But I'm gonna tell you, because when I went away to pharmacy school in New Orleans, the French market there was alive, like what you're trying to create here. So I'm just so happy. And
Thank
I'm so
you.
proud of.
I'm proud. I'm very
so
proud.
of my Hillsborough County coworker.
Oh, thank you.
For those of you who don't know, we both work in Hillsborough County.
Thank you.
So what about today?
Today we actually had 40 contestants. Actually, there were 35 contestants who competed for the top flan, however you want to say it. Some say it different. In Tampa Bay, we had local judges who came in and judged the flan, and they picked their favorites. We're awaiting the results here on stage at about 2:30. But prior to that, we will have a flan eating contest. And I did bring you some flan.
No, I'm going to eat it. It didn't even get to that part. But I wanted to know a little bit more about the market, because although this is wonderful for the day, the fact that you've got this market that's here all the time, and it's building, and especially now, boy, that is a tribute to what you're doing, Lynn, because Things are tough. And sometimes people that would want to come out and buy this and buy that, they kind of do without. It doesn't leave.
And it's actually a great stepping stone for people who are trying to start a small business to come out here and venture out at a low-cost venue. And that's what has made us a nonprofit organization, a 501c3. We do offer a low-cost venue for the small businesses, the crafters, the artists, the gourmet food preparers, to come out here and kind of test the grounds before they jump out into the real world.
So what, they're like individual private vendors, is that what it is?
Right. We have about 70 vendors who are set up today. They have like a 10 by 10 space. They go through an application process. It's very easy. We're always looking for new vendors.
Oh no, and I think that's good for our viewers to learn. Yeah. So they just pay a fee.
They pay a low fee.
And then what they do is whenever they want to come, they're not obligated for any hours. What do they have to do?
Well, we do request on the days that they're here the entire time.
Oh,
but
sure.
they can pick and choose their schedule
but, I mean,
on what
if
days they're
this
here.
around some other kind of work and they can only do it the first and third week of the month, that's
right.
That's
it's perfect. It's perfect.
That's really
and we are seeing a lot of vendors now more than ever because unfortunately with the way the economy is, this is a great tool for them
People
to come out and make extra money.
And they learn how to be creative. I mean,
exactly.
That's absolutely a sign of the time.
Yeah, it's all about the family. I mean, we hope to bring everybody here. We hope to bring the families, their grandkids. I mean, we have mother and daughter teams competing in the contest. We had a grandfather and his granddaughter competing in the contest. So it's all about the family and the kids and bringing them all together.
Funny is when I was talking to some of the contestants, you'd have the grandfather or the grandmother and stuff, and they'd show you the grandchildren they were doing, and they'd say, "Honest, I had nothing to do with that." And then they'd elaborate about what their theme was. So they had a lot of pride in what the contestants were doing.
Yes.
Are you finished with that already for today?
Actually, we're done. I do know the winners already, and maybe I can No, not yet.
Well, you could, because this is going to be viewed later. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you actually who the winner was for the appearance and presentation category. I don't have the name yet for the other.
That's all right.
A young lady named Amanda.
How many winners do we have?
I'm sorry?
How many winners?
We have 2 winners in the appearance and presentation category, and then we have 2 winners in the taste category.
We've got about 30 seconds to do that, so go ahead. Let me not interrupt you.
Okay. Again, the contestants all competed against each other. They had to register ahead of time, and then they had to bring their flans here on site, prepare them, decorate them. Then the judges eased their way in, took their time, tested their taste buds, and picked their very favorite flan. They told me this year was the hardest.
I can eat.
It's good flan. Next year you'll have to be a judge with us. How's your flan?
It's delicious. Is this one of the winners?
Actually, I honestly don't know. I just grabbed one that looks great and went with it, and it could be a winner.
It's delicious.
We'll find out
anyway,
shortly.
Lynn, thank you. Thank you for what
very
you're doing
much.
here. Thank you for joining us. And to our audience, thanks for staying with us. After this, we'll be talking to Adam Walkover with the Black Bean Blowout. Congratulations. It's nice to talk to you.
Thank you,
Lynn.
Rose.
Take care.
Okay.
Mini bar's right over there. Phone if you need to use it. Bed.
And what is that?
Oh, that's a double chin. The guy who checked out must have lost it just snacking on fruits and vegetables. Have a good stay.
Welcome back. I'm Rose Ferlita, your host today. We're celebrating at Fiesta Day, and with me right now is Adam Walkover. He's the host of Fiesta Day's Black Bean Blowout. Sounds kind of serious, so we need to get some of the details. Adam, thanks for being with me.
Thanks for having me.
Kind of explain that for our viewers.
To start out with, the contestants are required to prepare their black beans however they like. Typically, it usually takes 4 to 6 hours to prepare them the correct way. And we've also had some contestants just show up with cans of black beans. They're allowed to bring those to the contest, and then everything else is provided for them when they show up. They have 60 minutes to prepare a dish of their liking, and then they pass it over to the judges panel of 3 judges, and then we judge it accordingly.
And there we have it. I think the way it describes it, it says Iron Chef style. What does that mean? They bring their own pots or what?
Iron Chef style is basically, they have no idea what they're cooking until they show up. We have a big mixture of ingredients. They're covered up with a tablecloth when they get there. When the timer goes off, they have 60 minutes to complete a dish. We then uncover it, and there's an array of ingredients. Today we've got a couple different types of pork, some chicken, and then an array of vegetables and starches and stuff like that they get to choose from.
And to entice people to come, what kind of prizes we can?
For the prizes, the amateur competition that we just gave away was $500 cash prize and a engraved plaque and bragging rights till next year, of course. And then for the professional one, which starts at 2 o'clock, we're going to give away a $1,000 cash prize, as well as a plaque engraved they can hang in the restaurant, and bragging rights for all the other professionals in the area for something to compete.
Do you have an
compete
idea
against.
up front about how many contestants are going to participate, or it's just come as you
It's
go?
kind of whoever registers. This morning we had 2 amateurs show up, and then this afternoon, I'm sorry, at 2 o'clock we have 2 more professionals.
Very, very nice. And I guess the real important question is that once we finish this interview, if I kind of follow you over there, what are the chances of tasting some of the
Without a
the
doubt.
different-
Without a doubt. We'll sit you down on judges panel. You can judge with us.
I'd like to do that. Is this the first year, or how long have you been doing this, Adam?
We've been doing this for 3 years. I got a phone call about 3.5 years ago. Asked the event organizer would like to bring cooking competitions back into what the original Fiesta Day used to be. And then they wanted to put a new twist on it. So they called me and said, hey, what can you do? And we threw it together. This is our 3rd year. We're going strong. Got a real good turnout.
That's really, really good. And I think a lot of people, or at least some people, don't realize what this means. It's just the blend of different cultures that Ybor City has. And black beans, certainly with the Cuban immigrants that came down here in the late 1800s probably, that's a sampling of what's going on.
Absolutely.
Coincidentally, as we're sitting here behind me is the Ybor Museum. And that actually is where all the artifacts from Ybor are, and all the immigrant renderings, etc. But actually, more for me, it was my grandfather's bakery and my father's bakery.
Oh, okay.
So it's a wonderful melting pot of culture.
Absolutely.
You're
yes.
part of the entertainment. Behind you is Centennial Park. That's about smack in the middle of that is where my grandmother's house was. So the Ferlita name goes way, way back.
Absolutely.
So what else? Tell me what else you want to tell us about the contest.
We'd like everyone to come out and see us. We just enjoy doing it. It's nice for me to get out of the kitchen every now and then, even though I love doing it.
Did you come up with the name?
I did.
You could have some serious descriptions about what that means or what that doesn't mean, but it's
Absolutely.
catchy. So
They wanted something with a new twist
Yeah,
to
you
kind
got
of
it.
bring cooking back into the festival, and so here we are.
and so are you just kind of just watching it yourself, or what?
I'm actually one of the judges. This year, I'm one of the main judges as well as the event organizer. The 2 of the other judges, we've got actually guests we picked out of the crowd this morning as our 3rd judge.
Very good.
And then Phil Seltzer from Tietro's on 7th.
Yeah,
We got
okay.
the executive chef. He was a competitor 2 years ago and won our professional contest, and we asked him to come back this year as a judge.
And this is just today, I believe, right? Yesterday,
ma'am.
tomorrow, too? No.
Yes, ma'am. No, just today.
Till what time?
The first one was from 11 to 12, and the second one's from 2 to 3.
Well, hopefully then the 2 to 3. I think there was a Gasparilla run as well.
Yes.
So hopefully some of the people that were down there
Can come
down
over
here
and
for
join
this
us. And
next
we had a pretty decent crowd. It was kind of a walkthrough. It's hard for some people to stand for an hour.
Right.
So they come see us start, and then they come back and see us end, and we look forward to having you guys.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll absolutely be there. Since I don't know too much about the contest, I'm going to lean back on you in case there's any kind of admission charge or anything.
There's a $25 registration fee. You can go on ccevents.org's website and register. We do this every year. It is open to the public as well for the amateur contest. The professional, you just have to work in the profession, have a restaurant sponsor you. It's still the same $25 fee. And then you just kind of...
Yeah, but it's kind of worth it, though, because you were telling me about the prizes.
Absolutely. Amateurs $500 and professionals $1,000. So you
And-
figure
and-
for $25, you're going to win $475. You only put 25 in. I think
Somebody's going to win that.
Somebody's going to win,
if
absolutely.
they were the kind of cook I was, no, the $25 is lost. Does somebody sponsor those prizes, or how do you get the funds to do that? Adam?
It's incorporated through some of the sponsors from Fiesta Day. It's not one specific sponsor. It's kind of a culmination of a couple.
Where are you employed typically, or what do you do?
I work for Cocked Catering. We've
Oh,
got
you do?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
We've got a. We're actually a subsidiary of CC Events, who puts on the whole event.
Of course.
We've got a big conference and banquet center over by the University of South Florida.
I'm very familiar with it, actually.
And then we've got a big traveling crew. We're actually located in 5 states. We've got a traveling crew that does festivals, car shows, and events all over the United States all year. We just did all of the concessions and catering for the Super Bowl when they were in town for the NFL experience for 12 days.
Man, that was incredible, huh?
That absolutely was
very,
incredible.
Very well.
That was
God.
definitely an event.
I mean, nothing went wrong.
No.
Nothing. Except maybe if you weren't a Steelers fan. I happen
Except
to be.
if you weren't a Steelers fan. If you were a Cardinals fan, they had something to say about it.
So you traveled to all those different locations with them?
I do travel. I'm based out of Tampa. We also have a storm service contract, so I was actually on the road with that team for about 2.5 months, feeding the power companies when the hurricanes hit Texas,
Katrina.
Mississippi, and
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
We were in Katrina for 6.5 months, and then when the second string hit last year, we were on the road for about 2.5 months.
That's good. And I'm giving you an opportunity, you understand, to plug them because we have a few extra minutes.
Absolutely.
So that's good. Actually, they're very well respected and very well known in this community. So
Yes,
that's
ma'am. Yeah,
really, really good.
they have been around for a while. They're a great company to work for. I've had the pleasure of working for them for about 4 years. Actually got the job. I was down here at a Fiesta Italiano.
Yeah.
I
that's a huge event.
just moved to Tampa, and it was produced by CC Events, and Cox Catering had a booth set up, and here I am.
Are they doing something with? Are they in some sort of contractual agreement with La Fiesta Italiana anymore? Or no?
CC Events actually produces the whole event.
Okay, I thought
La
that they
Fiesta
did, but I didn't know
Italiana
if it's...
contracts our boss over, our production boss, which is right down here on 7th Avenue, and she produces the whole event.
So you guys put up with my friend Joe Capitano, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
He's passionate, but I'm going to tell you what, all the history that's in this community, he's in much part responsible for what has happened to the Italian club.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
really nice.
It's a great event. We have a great time. I actually run the Sorrento cheese booth, and we give out samples. Last year we gave out about 13,000 samples.
Very nice.
In 2 days. So it was a lot of hard work, a lot of elbow grease putting into it, but it's a fun time, and I enjoy doing it.
This is great. And I appreciate the fact that you walked over and took a little time to come over
Absolutely.
here. I mean, couldn't be more perfect. I certainly had nothing to do with preparing this weather, but it's great for the crowd, and it's great for us, and it's great for your events.
It absolutely is.
Anyway, Adam, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it. I'm Rose Ferlita. I enjoyed being your host. We're still having lots more things coming on Fiesta Day. I guess the way we close it is adios, ciao, and hasta luego. Thank you. Thank you again, Adam.
Every year, mothers lose their babies to gun crimes. You'll always be your mother's baby. So before you commit a gun crime, think about who you'll leave behind. Gun crimes hit home.